Hello and welcome back to Catalysis. Catalysis is a program on Cast.live, and here we look at the process, Catalysis process of Catalysis the agent, right? So Catalyst is a fund on Cardano, or is a fund which is funded by the Cardano treasury, right? So every time a transaction happens on the network, a little bit of a fee is taken out and put into the treasury. This then goes to the community to actually fund different projects. So far, from my understanding, I think there's around 100 million, is it 100 million or something like that? Is a crazy number inside of the treasury. But obviously, we don't deplete the treasury, like in huge bits. We sort of just do bit by bit. So right now, the fund 3 is only 500,000 USD equivalent of ADA available. And so now in fund 3, a bit of a weird thing has been chosen. So they're basically 3 challenges, but only 2 of them are going to receive the 500k, sort of 250, which we've already gone through. So those were the decentralized app proposals and the developer ecosystem. Now this third one is sort of a separate thing, all on itself or all on its own, and the idea is that it's 500k, but for fund 5, right? So and the idea is to sort of come up with a challenge, right? So that's why it's called Community Choice Challenge. And so we're going to be having a look at the different ideas for a challenge for fund 5 that the community has put forward. And it's going to be a little bit different compared to all the other sort of overviews that I've done so far, in that the themes aren't there, and we're just going to be looking at sort of communications, or like the amount of comments that have been taking place, and then have a look at the budget, basically, to sort of try and infer something from those, and the names as well, right? Again, this is just sort of an overview to kind of get a sense of where the community is at in terms of trying to get a sense of what we are hoping for in fund 5. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Ta-da! Right, so I'm gonna actually go here and make this a little bit smaller so that we can see more of it. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, yeah, so what I had to start off with here is to actually is to sort out is to have it sort this particular column by number. So this spreadsheet, by the way, is an awesome it's a copy of a spreadsheet that has been done by the awesome community member Daniel Riber. I'm not quite sure how to say his surname, but yeah, awesome community member who's just been sort of going above and beyond. So thank you, Daniel. This and I think he's a fellow Londoner or Brit. So what's up? So the idea here is, I made a copy so I can just sort of like mess around with it here. The link for this version is in the description box, and the link to Daniel's version is in there as well, not in the description box, but in this spreadsheet on like the very first page. There's a whole bunch of there's info that points back to Daniel's version and him if you want to reach out to him. So in this case I'm going to just be looking at the comms and then the budget, as I said, to try and get a sense of an overview in terms of the community choice for fund 5. So the top 3 here, there's quite a big difference between the most commented. As you'll notice, actually, in this one, I got rid of the kudos column, because personally I think kudos are just a vanity metric which hold no significant value. So I've gotten rid of them. I've actually sort of deleted it. But comments, I think, actually somewhat represent something. So yeah, so in this case, grow Africa, grow Cardano. This is, I think it's pretty straightforward from the title, right? And it's managed to sort of get 18 comments back and forth. Now, mind you, the 18 here are including responses from the proposer as well. It's not just like excluding those responses. So yeah, I've actually read this proposal, or I'm familiar with it, and it's quite interesting because it looks at, obviously, it's in the title, right? Grow Africa, grow Cardano. And yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm glad to see that the community have actually sort of rallied behind it, and I've engaged, have engaged in having a conversation. The downside though with this is, last time I looked it up, and I brought this up with the folks who have actually put forward the proposal, is that it's read as being in reserve. So hopefully, like, there's no weird technical things, glitches, which has meant that now that editing has now been frozen, that it's not going to be considered, when it comes to actually voting for this stuff. If we're actually going to vote, I'm assuming that we are going to actually vote the same way for this particular challenge as we are in the other ones. But anyway, more on that, as the story evolves, as we get to know more. So yeah, top commented is that one, and then like almost like a third below that is governance symposium. Honestly, I haven't actually had a look at this. And then the one under that is then, again, half of the one above that at 3 comments. Have an open fund. Okay, so that makes sense why it's just 3, I suppose. And again, mind you, excuse me, these numbers are relatively kind of old. It's not been updated, so you may be looking at stuff that's like a week old or something, the numbers. So there might have been more comments. I don't actually know whether or not they have been, but again, ballpark, right? This is just kind of to give us a sense of what the hell is going on. So yeah, so that's comments. Let's now just jump into the budget, right, and have a look at actually, let's start from the smallest. A to Z. Yeah, I'm not really able to understand the A to Z and Z to A, like you'd assume. No, I suppose Z is larger and A is smaller, but then you could even, never mind. That's just my weird brain overthinking things. So okay, so here we have so let's have a look at the top 3 here in terms of budget, right? And now I realize that I have not basically sort of cropped it out. Okay, there we go. Now it's actually visible on screen. So the top 3 here: Cardano sticker marketing campaign. Really? Wait, so this person actually, yeah, okay, so there's a note here which says wrong challenge. Because this same proposer put this forward in the DApp challenge, I believe. So it's a bit odd that it's here again, but anyway, it's 600, asking for 600 USD. And then next to that, followed by a basic marketing campaign. Again, weird. I suppose not really, because basic marketing campaign. I don't think that's entirely a wrong challenge. It depends on how they've broken it down in the detail section, or sort of the problem solution type of thing. And then followed by Dallas website localization. Oh, that's interesting, but then like it's too specific for I feel a community challenge. Although localization, like basically sort of translating it into a whole bunch of different languages, could make for an interesting, No, actually, having said that, now that I look at the fund size, the what it's asking for, um, yeah, that I don't see any reason why that wouldn't actually fall in line with that. By the way, okay, so that's uh A to Z. Now let's have a look at Z to A, or big to small. Right, so have an open fund. That's coming in at number one of the most expensive. Really, is it? Um, yeah, 500, 500. They're all asking for 500 basically, and 500 is the entire amount of fund five's budget. Now why have an open fund actually out of all the 500, because there's like five proposals here which are actually asking for 500. Why that particular one is the top, I don't no, maybe it's affected. Okay, yeah, communications is affecting the rating there, because I think I had basically ordered by that before, so that's kind of factoring in. Okay, so yeah, this really um, doesn't tell me much or help me much. Like, have an open fund. It will be interesting to look into it, but then it kind of just feels a bit bland. I don't know, or without focus. Because so far, like, one of the issues with Fund 2, for example, is, this criticism of not or not having enough focus. So I feel like having an open fund might just kind of have the same kind of waywardness. But anyway, and then next to that we've got DeFi, CeFi, Cardano, and payment services. Okay, and then after that we've got Community Intentions Challenge. I have no idea what that means from just reading the title. Intentions Challenge. That to me kind of feels like Community Choice Challenge, but sort of like, it's like the Russian doll version. Yeah, why all of these are asking for that much? It's not entirely clear to me. Like, just on the face of it. Yeah, it will be interesting. And again, what's lovely about this is that in a week's time, the comments are going to then reopen, right? So anyone who's watching this, you're going to be able to then, if any of these stick in mind, you're going to be able to, go to IdeaScale and, like, put up, post a question, be like, hey, why the hell, are you doing this or that kind of thing, right? Actually engage the proposals kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There isn't really that much else that we can sort of break this down in. Yeah, hope that was actually somewhat interesting or insightful. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure whether it would make sense to do this version, right? To do the Community Choice Challenge, because it's a bit of a weird one, right? Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I hope that kind of gave you a sense of what the community is sort of engaging around, and what the sort of budgetary asks are sort of saying about the different projects. And yeah, so again, this is an overview. I'll be coming back to do, like, a sort of deeper level thing where I'll be looking at say, for example, the categories, and, like, doing one that looks into ones who have asked for budgets which are either on the small end or on the high end. Yeah, and so in closing, if you are a proposer of, whether it's a community choice challenge or a developer ecosystem or a decentralized application proposal, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. Let's help the community, whether it's people who are going to be writing reviews, or community advisors, or people who opted not to do that and are just going to end up voting in the end. Let's help them get a better sense of the humans behind the proposals, right, as opposed to just a whole bunch of text, right? Because the idea in doing these videos, as I'd mentioned before, is some people might not have enough time to go to Idea Scale to open a whole bunch of different pages and read a whole bunch of text, right? But a video is, you know, it's a passive experience. They're able to, you know, get exposure to the ideas, and, you know, it will be sort of extra helpful and awesome if they could actually, you know, be able to put a face to the ideas. So yeah, and in doing so, you actually gradually start to create a community for your proposal, right? Because you know, it's not just the money that the Catalyst provides. Actually, I would argue more important and more valuable than money is the learning and the community creation that actually that happens as a result of actually, you know, engaging via Catalyst. So having said that, this has gone on a little bit too long, a lot longer than I initially intended or hoped for it to go. But yeah, so reach out, and yeah, let's have a conversation. In the meantime, I am gonna keep sort of you know, doing breakdowns of these videos, and yeah, I hope you're finding some use, or finding them useful. If so, you know, reach out, let me know, comment, follow, like, you know, do whatever, you know, contribute. Yeah, so thanks for your time, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video.